आइए हम सुने विज्ञान की अनकही कहानियाँ। आइए हम सुने विज्ञान की अनसुनी कहानियाँ। एक नई दुनिया की आवाज़ आपकी आवाज़, विज्ञान की आवाज़, की आवाज़।
Celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, we bring you a podcast series on STEM popularization, science, technology, engineering, mathematics and medicine, supported and catalyzed by the National Council for Science and Technology Communication, Government of India. This program is produced by Media for Community Foundation. Creative content and technical support is given by Purvasha Banerjee and Shushanto Das.
एक नई दुनिया की आवाज़ आपकी आवाज़, विज्ञान की आवाज़, की आवाज़, की आवाज़।
Indian Statistical Institute is a public university which is recognized as an institute of national importance. It grew out of the statistical laboratory set up by Prashanto Chandra Mohananobish in Presidency College, Kolkata. Established in 1931, this unique institution of India is one of the oldest institutions focused on statistics. Primary activities of ISI are research and training of statistics, development of theoretical statistics and its applications in various natural and social sciences. We welcome Dr. Tanoy Mukherjee, faculty at the Department of Science and Technology at Indian Statistical Institute, Kolkata. He shares about his experience as a researcher working in the field of wildlife biology.
I'm Dr. Tanoy Mukherjee. I'm working as a DST Inspired faculty in Indian Statistical Institute. And I'm also working with IUCN WCPA as a connectivity conservation specialist member. And my field of research is wildlife biology. And we are actually kind of researchers who are working in field and try to understand the different problems and their human associations with wildlife.
In today's episode, Dr. Mukherjee talks about his research in the field of ecological connectivity and animal corridor movement.
Today, we are talking about the ecological connectivity or the animal corridor movement. So, ecological connectivity is one of the essential elements for sustainability of wildlife. It is not only for Indian perspective, but also for the global community. So, what it actually means is that animals have to move from one place to another. It is not like that all the animals can stay in one particular places. For example, for humans also, for habitat, we move from one place to another. So the requirements of a individual animals, maybe it's a tiger, maybe it's a leopard, it has to move from one particular area to another. So in general, we know that animals are mainly confined in protected areas, maybe in national park, maybe in wildlife sanctuaries. But what is happening that these protected areas are becoming islands. So there is protection in protected area, but just outside the protected area, there is no protection. The urbanization is increasing, the anthropogenic activities are very high. So what is happening? These protected areas are becoming islands and the population is not able to get out from the protected area and go to other areas where its habitat is. So this is creating a problem. So the major problem is the carrying capacity. So we know that the resource is limited in some areas. So for example, in case of North Bengal, say Gorumara National Park or Joldapada or Kaziranga, northern part of West Bengal, yes. We have the last rhino reservoirs in India. So these three protected areas mainly confront all the rhinos for our country. So these three national parks house the more than 90% of the rhino population of Indian in the Indian scenario. So what is happening after a certain time, because rhino don't have any predator, so a tiger cannot actually hunt a rhino, and this in this landscape there is no tiger actually. In Kaziranga there is, but as it's a mega herbivore, so no big animals can attack. So what is happening after a certain time, its number is increasing, and due to the limitation of the food available in the protected area, they try to move from one area to another. We all know about the great migration of wildebeest, which go from Serengeti to the Kenya and that area. So the migration is the essential part of all of the animals. So in case of wild animals also, they tend to move from one place to another. Now what is happening? The connectivity, for that reason, connectivity is becoming essential part. So it's not like that only protected areas can preserve the natural ecosystem. We have to come to a landscape level strategy so that we can connect this dot or connect this island. Otherwise, these populations, all the population of the natural animals will not sustain. So we are actually working in that domain for a long time. So I'm working with this habitat connectivity or assessment under different projects of Government of India in multiple states for around 10 years. And presently we are working in northern part of West Bengal, starting from Singalila National Park to Buxa Tiger Reserve. And we are working with the Forest Department to identify those areas which can be a connective point between the reserves. For that, we are placing multiple camera traps. From that, we are getting informations where animals are moving. We are also collecting the sounds. So it is one of the new initiatives that we are having in ISI, that from sound we are able to identify what is the biodiversity in that area. So we are collecting sounds and we're trying to identify what is the anthropogenic sounds and what are the biotic sounds. So based on that, we are able to capture the overall biodiversity and also see whether animals are moving in that area or not. So in this way, we are actually trying to connect these protected islands through a connected landscape.
Sir explains how this research can contribute in the context of Indian environment and biodiversity.
Ecological connectivity is one of the essential targets in ACHI. So ACHI biodiversity target, as we all know, it is the 11th ACHI target. And after that, we all know that the beyond ACHI targets have been retained by CBD and other agencies as well. I'm also one of the IUCN members on beyond ACHI targets, and also working with the South Asian country members for restoring the ecological connectivity in South Asian regions. So it is one of the essential targets. And this particular agenda, it's also integrated in some of the national missions, such as National Mission on Biodiversity and Human Wellbeing is one of the Mission Life is also one of the missions. And apart from that, from a common person point of view, it is also very important. I like to give you some numbers that it's published. It is based on published data that more than 63,000 animals have been died due to train accident between 2017-18 to 2020-21, and more than 80,000 incidences of human-wildlife accidents have been happening in recent years. So when an animal tries to get out from their natural habitat or the protected area where they have protection, so they are facing a different kind of problem. There may be a train line, there may be a road. So if there is a road, the road accidents are very prone. It is throughout the India, especially in the hilly areas where the forests are very distance apart. So the accidents are increasing. So, and not only the accidents, it is also impacting the humans, because the forest community peoples who are living beside the forest in the buffer zones, so they are getting maximum impacted. So the number of incidences of cattle depredations are being increases, human injuries are increasing. So animals are not able to go outside the protected area to its natural habitat. So it's going to the human habitations and it's creating problem. So it increasing the conflict, and government has to pay the compensations. The local people who are the native resident of that area, they are actually also facing problem. So if we can able to create a safe connective route for wild animals, so it will not only benefit in a national agenda, our national biodiversity commitments on CBD, and also in international treaty as per ICNs, but also will help the common human who are living in the buffer zones, maybe in the Arunachal area, the tribal peoples, the other native peoples who are living in the forest buffer area.
Dr. Mukherjee talks about the global contemporaries in this field of research.
So first of all, I would like to address one thing, that when we are talking about the conservation or the wildlife conservation or sustainable development, it's no competition as such. So it's a common goal where we all the countries, all the participating countries, COP is also going on. So our Prime Minister is also taking pledges for a collaborative action on sustainable development, and it's becoming one of the major agenda in this century. So it's a common goal. I would say that there are certain agencies on a global front. The leading is IUCN. So IUCN is the global body which conducts all the activities, and it's regulated, it's connected with all the participating country. From India and South Asia, we are also one of the members. I am also the connectivity specialty member. So rank in such, I would suggest that India is one of the top mega diversity country in the world. So it has only 2 to 3% of the land area, but harvests more than 8% of the biodiversity. We have a more than 1 lakh number of animal species, around 48,000 of plant species also. So if you say ranking, so the biodiversity rank of India is very high. And we have endemic areas. That is one of the major points. That endemic means we have some species, a big chunk of species over here, which are nowhere found in the world. So it is, if this species got extinct from India, it's not like that it's extinct from India, it's extinct from global world.
We thank Professor for the valuable insights that he shared with us in this episode.